Hey, what's happening, everybody? It's good to see you. I I didn't have anything real particular to talk about tonight. I didn't have any real issues to discuss and go over, but I did want to touch base with you guys, and for the people who did log on yesterday for my interview with Sean, I really, really appreciate that. I want to express my gratitude for that. He he was really he was really happy with being able to be part of it, and so thanks a lot for that. You guys did a great job in the chat, making him feel welcome, and expressing your gratitude for him doing something so nice for the channel. So um, it's yeah, I'm really really grateful for that. So thank you guys so much for that. Um, yeah, he seemed to have a real pleasant time, especially talking about something that's so unpleasant. Um, you know, but yeah, it was a real good time. Because I mean I always have fun just hanging out with him and talking with him, and sometimes he'll just these are things that happen in his life, and so he'll just get to talking about it, and I'll be sitting there kind of going, "What the fuck," you know? Um, so hey Mignon, hey Nickasy King, I'm glad you made it. Hybrid, what's up? Casey, thank you so much for that. Yeah, I appreciate that. Uh, Michaela, thank you for being here too. Yeah, I'm going on a little earlier than I normally do. Normally, if I go on a Monday, and I normally do go on Mondays, if I do because it's one of my days off. But that's about to change. So I I normally go on later. Usually at least no earlier than 11 Eastern time. But um, well, thanks, Hybrid. Yeah, we had a. That's the thing is, I mean, he's one of my best friends right now, so we just kind of basically the plan was just to kind of hang out and talk, and aside from having a few questions that I knew people would want to know the answers to or were wondering about pertaining to this case and these experiences of his. I mean, that's just what we do. We just kind of sit around and talk shit and and hang out. So it made sense just to do it live with him. You know, um, he he's no stranger to doing interviews because he's done so many of these like tabloid shows and you know uh, these news shows, and he I guess he's just used to it. And again, he just it's not something that he doesn't seem to worry about talking about too much. I guess he's the way he described it. I get the impression that he's, for the most part, been responsible for himself emotionally for a very, very long time. So this wasn't something that was going to affect him on an emotional level like it would most people who have um, dependent relationships with other people. Uh, so yeah, it's pretty cool that he's just the kind of guy that looks at it as, well, these fucking things happen, you know, and what are you gonna do about it, you know? So yeah, so it's always pretty, it's a pleasure to say the least, hanging out with a guy like that on a regular basis because he's real easygoing and real easy to get along with. because of having this type of outlook on things. So I definitely enjoy spending time with him and his son. Um, hey, what's up, Michelle? Hey, Mystic. So yeah, so tonight I was basically just gonna go on um, and just again say thanks to everyone who was able to make it, and that's not to say those of you who didn't make it that I have some sort of grudge or I'm upset with you in any way. I realize that I did not set a time for it. uh, I again, like I said, he was kind of doing this out of the kindness of his heart, and I pride myself, or at least try to pride myself on being very unscripted these days, and you guys getting the most genuine uh, side of me. And the way to do that is just to kind of decide to come on here on a fly, like I just did, and and I knew that like Sean and I had planned on doing it, but we weren't about to let the rest of our day be affected by by that. So we decided to just kind of, well, all right, well, we're gonna go to the gym and we're gonna go back to your place, but are we gonna do this before we go to the gym, or we're gonna do this after? Oh, all right, well, we'll do it after. But at the same time, I wasn't about to hang out in this guy's house and be like, well, most of my listeners they catch me around 11 p.m., 12 o'clock, so we're just gonna wait till real late and then go on. I wanted to do it at his convenience, at our convenience. So um, that's just what happened. And um, so if you missed it, that's our bad. But I'm especially grateful to those who did make it because again, it was unplanned and um, or at least poorly planned, and so we kind of did the best we could. Hey, what's happening, River? Um, well, River, everybody's obviously they're very very nice and they're saying how great it was and everything. And I'm grateful for that. But the I because I don't really know what I'm doing here, and I'm not really financially flourishing at the moment. Um, the sound quality was not the best. I wish it could have been better. I wish I would have had two professional mics, and so we kind of just had to use what we had, uh, and again, I think honestly that may have actually helped because it felt more natural. I mean, we were just chilling on his couch like we normally do, and we were just talking, and you guys just happened to get to hear it. Um, so it was as natural as that could have been. I didn't want it to be like a formal interview. I mean, this is my friend. This is not some guy that you know uh, that the rest of us just are vulturing on because we got to know the dirt on a horrible crime. He's just a he's just a good guy. This stuff happened in his life, and he was he just happened to have to play a major role in the police finding the evidence that they needed to make the people responsible for something awful, regardless who they were, um, and put them away. That's wow, River. That's cool, man. Yeah, I mean, I like to think that, I like to think that the best content is on the fly, and just natural discussion. I don't, I it's weird. I didn't. Yeah. I all I wanted to do was just do something really. I wanted it to be pleasant, despite the subject matter. um, and somehow it was. I'm happy with how it came out, and I'm really happy that everyone else got to benefit from it. And I don't know. Sorry, I'm looking over the chat here because I just kind of came on just to say hi to you guys, and I don't know. Who knows? I could go on every other night this week, or I could not go on for another 2 weeks. Who knows? It's just what happens. Um, but I like being able to do this, and I like this being what's expected when I come on here, um, because I don't think that anyone really knows what to expect when I come on here. Because who knows, a subject matter might drop, and we could get to talking about anything. Um, and and I like that. I like not having the shackles of something that that you know requires my attention, and I have to do research on it and do this and do that. And I mean, I told you guys this was not intended to be a true crime channel, and I like that I can bec- talk about true crime if I want to, because I'm the science behind it is interesting to me. Everything, the psychology behind it all, everything. Um, which reminds me, I mentioned that I was thinking about going back to school, um, which I am still thinking about that. That's still something else, but it's crazy. Uh, I thought you guys would get a kick out of this, but my mind is actually kind of venturing into the idea of law enforcement. Uh, and immediately I'm shutting myself down. I'm like, nah, I can't do that. I'm too old. There's no way. There's no fucking way that I can be a cop at my age. And I was talking about it with this person, same person who keeps pressuring me to go to school. But she does it in a very loving and endearing way, and I'm in no way annoyed by it. It's kind of nice. It's nice to have somebody who believes in you that much, and it's just like, man, just do it. It's more like she's cheering me on. Using the word pressure is seems inaccurate. It's very pleasant. But she's becoming a cop, um, and she was like, "You should be cop." I thought she was joking, and I think she kind of was when she first said it, and then I think it turned into a whole. Well, why not? Why can't you? What's the point? What's the difference? So so sure enough, one of the members where I work comes in, and he works for the sheriff's department. And I asked him, just for shits and giggles. I was like, so I'm old as fucking dirt, man. Is it too late for me to be a cop, in your opinion? And he's a young guy. He's probably in his early 30s, and he's like, nah. um, he's like, nope, you're not too old. He's like, we always need people, and he's like, as long as you can pass the physical requirements and the psychological requirements, there's absolutely no reason why not. And I was like, holy shit, okay. Um, so uh, then he gave me the name of somebody who was also a member there, who was a recruiter at one point. Now she works at the jail, and I stopped her on her way out and said, "Hey, listen, so blah blah blah," and I just kind of went into it, and she confirmed the same thing, and she was like, "Yeah, there's absolutely no reason." So that kind of upped my confidence a little bit, because her being a recruiter, she didn't say anything negative. She was actually kind of encouraging. So I don't know, man. Uh, I'm thinking about it. But if I did it though, I don't want to be like a career cop. See, this is what I'm struggling with. I everything. Whenever I do something, I want to do it for the right reasons, right? So if I decide I want to be a cop, right? Why do I want to be a cop? Well, realistically, honestly, what I want to do is if I want to use the police force for their training. I, I want to get the training, and I want to start my own company. I want to privatize, not privatize law enforcement, of course, but um, in something that type of training would actually help me and my business thrive. And I was thinking about what I'd like to do is possibly help families uh, find missing children or missing loved ones. Doesn't have to necessarily be children, but I would love to do that. I would love to somehow do that, and but I don't know enough about it. I don't know, you know what I mean? I don't know the ins and outs of that business, and if it would be more harmful than helpful. I I I don't want to exploit people. Uh, I genuinely want to help them, but I also want to make a living doing it. And I'm wondering if I would be able to, because I'm not actually government law enforcement, do I have to play by the same rules? Can I get into places that they can't? Can I ask questions they're not allowed to ask? Can I, you know what I mean? I don't know. Um, I don't know. So this is the stuff I'm thinking about, and this is the stuff I'm struggling with in my head a little bit, and so, and then I'm struggling with like this. I'll try to lay out my overthinking for you. So, on top of all that shit that I'm mulling over and thinking about, I'm also trying to be self-aware, and I'm sitting here wondering if I'm just making excuses to to quit before I even start, right? Because people do that shit all the time, and I hate when people do that. I fucking hate when people do that. Because I was one of those people, and I used to do that all the time. The only reason I'm thinking about school now is because when I was when I was a kid, I was an awful student. I was an awful, awful, awful student. I was the personification of an underachiever. I still kind of am. And but the difference is now I have a different attitude. Now I have a different outlook towards life. This whole Glarer outlook that I decided to apply has given me pretty much a whole new personality. This is actually true. Um, so I'm not even the same person that I was 2 years ago. Not even close. And having having these principles and applying them into my everyday decisions, you know, it's gotten me. It's making my environment better, which is making me better, and my environment's getting better because I'm getting better at the same time. So there's this very cool exchange between me and my environment happening that's just making things better every day. So so why am I considering school now is probably because I'm not the same person I used to be. Simply because I have a different attitude. I have a better attitude. So I'm struggling with what am I going to succeed if I go to school? Am I going to be a badass at it? Like I'm kind of a badass at every little thing that I'm taking on now only because I'm like convincing myself that I have to be a badass at every little thing that I take on right now? Or am I going to fail because I've always failed at school? Always, always, always. My entire life, I've always failed at school. So, what's I don't know what to do. I don't know if I I'm afraid. I'm afraid of failure. I'm afraid of failing. So I don't know. Yeah, Michaela, I think you might be right. I don't think that I think the whole point that I'm probably missing out of all of this is maybe for right now, maybe just for right now, it's okay to just enjoy the fact that I'm thinking about things that the old me never took time to think about. Maybe I should just enjoy that for now and then start taking action. Um, yeah, there's no reason to just automatically just start taking action right now and just start tackling decisions when I'm new to even entertaining notions like the ones that I'm having now. So yeah, so Michaela, yeah, I think maybe you're right. Maybe I should probably just right now just enjoy the fact that I'm even thinking about these things and see what else I can come up with, and then once I'm used to thinking this way a little bit more, then it'll be more logical to make a sound decision. Wow, see, this glad I came on and went live. Um, awesome. See, look at that. You guys are great. Um, you guys ever drink warm generic Dr. Pepper from Walmart? I'm sorry, warm generic diet Dr. Pepper from Walmart. It does the trick, but I don't recommend it. Anyway, so okay, yeah. So that's probably what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna chill and just see whatever what other crazy shit my brain decides to think up that it's not used to cooking up. So yeah, I guess that's what I'm gonna do. Probably. um, so yeah, and who knows this thing too. I'm I'm digging this. I'm digging having this little thing I can go on at pretty much given any time, and a few people are gonna pop up and start dropping shit in the chat, and I dig it. Um, yeah, I dig it. Hold on, sorry guys. There's that dead air again. I'm just reading chat here. Yeah, Doodlebug or Michelle. I agree with you there. In the sense that I really think that the Glera principles uh, can be. I truly believe they can be applied to anything that life kind of throws my way. Um, so far, anyway, that's been the case. So, um, what's up, Shannon? Um, but yeah, the thing is as far as as far as school goes too, like I live in Tennessee, and there's something that I was just recently made aware of called the Tennessee Promise, where there's a program where Tennessee, like the state of Tennessee, will pay for your first 2 years of school, like free and clear, like books, everything, maybe books, I don't know, but it's free and clear for the first 2 years. I can get an associate's, like, and it's on the state of Tennessee. So uh, you know, I don't know. So there goes an excuse right there. Can't afford it. Bullshit. Bullshit, you can't afford it. Um, I don't drive a car, but I can take online classes. There's another excuse. Gone. So, I mean, I don't know. I, the only thing that I'm hung up on is what I mentioned earlier. I have never, ever, ever been a good student. I have never had good study habits. Trying to help me with homework, bless my brother's heart, bless my mom's heart, trying to help me with homework was impossible. I would argue. I wouldn't know what I was talk. I didn't know what I was fucking talking about, and I would still argue. I didn't have enough sense to listen to the woman who who taught herself English and and earned like two master's degrees, you know, throughout my lifetime. And I didn't have enough sense to listen to uh, my older brother who was, I mean, if you described his personality as a kid, it would be student. Honestly, that's what he did. He studied all the time. He went to school and he studied all the fucking time. Sometimes played with us as kids, friends, but he was always studying. He was always reading. He was always absorbing information. So I don't know, man. But yeah, and um, yeah, Michelle, you were saying the Glera principles. Yeah, the Glera principles are a fun thing that have really really worked out for me, and have definitely altered my attitude towards other people and other things. So yeah, I'm definitely enjoying that journey still. But I think like Michaela was saying, uh, that's part of it. Like, you know, what what logic right now is telling me is that she's right. I mean, why? What's the rush? If it's not too late now, then you know what I mean. What's the rush? Why not mull it over some more? Why not just uh, enjoy what I'm doing right now, the relationships I'm building right now, and and see where this see where this goes. See where this goes before I start making some real life altering decisions. So, but yeah, man. And um, and I I'm always kind of struggling back and forth. Um, my opinions change all the time. That's why I'm not really big into politics, man. I'm not really big into politics because I end up like my opinions change all the time. My overall principles never change. But one guy will say something and I'll be like, what a piece of shit. And then this person will say something and I'll be like, yeah, exactly. And then that person will say something that makes me think they're a piece of shit. And then I think that whatever they said before that made me like them has no longer any validity. So, you know, I listen to this shit all the time and then I don't get frustrated. I just get dismissive. You know, I don't let politics frustrate me. Um, I laugh at the people that do get frustrated with it, but um, it's it's one of those things where again logic dictates to me that there's no I don't have any control over these things that are going to happen. The world is going to end up where it's going to end up, and I think you know the only responsibility that I have is how I how my presence affects my immediate environment. So I think that's the only thing any of us can really do. So I don't get, I don't get all bent out of shape when this happens or that happens. Um, you know, there's certain things that would bug me, obviously, like, when things like abortion becomes illegal in certain states. I'm like, well, wait, wow, we're really going backwards. That's that 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 bothers me, but it doesn't make me want to like make signs and join a crowd of people and start yelling at another crowd of people across the way with their own signs. Um, so I just don't. I don't know. I don't. Those things don't really affect me emotionally as much as maybe they should. Um, but they just don't. And I so I don't. I got into it. It's funny. Me and my buddy. He he we talk, and 1 minute he's a Trump supporter and then the next minute he's not. And here's the thing, I can't really speak for him because I don't know if he's a Trump supporter. We never actually expressed these things, but um, my whole thing is I don't expect this man. What right now, all I'm seeing right now are salesmen. Does that make sense? All I'm seeing right now are salesmen. I see an election coming up, and I see radical decisions being made. And I think because there's an election coming up. I see all of these radical decisions being made in lieu of this election coming up. So that's all I see. I see opportunity behind every single thing that I see on the news right now. And I find that humorous. It's you know what it is. It's the same thing. It's you've got and not that I'm comparing the 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 size or the importance. I'm not comparing the importance between these things, but right now I'm seeing politics. I'm seeing sports. I'm seeing uh, the K and J rivalry on YouTube, and I'm seeing pro wrestling all in the same light. I'm seeing it all in the same exact light. None of them have any substance to them at all as far as how they affect me emotionally. But yet I'm seeing how they're affecting so many people emotionally, which is really crazy to me because I'm seeing I'm seeing people who are worried about where their country is going, and have no control over that because honestly, you don't get a say. Sorry. I mean, I just realistically, I don't believe any of us get a say. We have uh, this placebo fed to us, which is that we have the right to vote. But I don't think it really makes any difference. Personally, I don't really think it makes any difference. I honestly don't. Um, and so my life is going to be affected to a certain degree, sure. But how much is it really going to be affected? Because you've got 4 years where there's this guy with his policies in office, and then you've got another 4 years where this person with their policies are in office. And honestly, my life has not been much different. I've been on this planet for over 40 years, and I can't remember one time where my life was and my personal freedoms were really affected in any way whatsoever under anybody's presidency. Honestly, I can't think of it. Um, I see a lot of fear. I see like if this person gets elected, this is what's going to happen, and that's going to happen, and that's going to happen, and this is going to affect me because of how it's going to affect me. I get that, but I don't ever see it actually really happening. You know, not in this awful, horrible way that people are making it seem like. And it's just and it's kind of mind blowing. You know, um, right now I just see a bunch of people bickering at each other in Congress. I see a president who doesn't give a shit what anybody thinks or anybody says. He's gonna do whatever he wants. You know, while he's in office, he's gonna do whatever he wants. Now there's an impeachment happening. You know, there's the process of impeachment that's going on right now, and he's not even slightly. He doesn't seem slightly affected by it, other than having this attitude of I'm just gonna start doing crazy shit. He's actually behaving like a president who has an election coming up. Like he has no plans on being impeached whatsoever. Doesn't seem like it. So, you know, that's hey. if I would expect that that's actually the way you would want to go if you were president, right? You know, you've got to continue doing your job, but how he does his job is what's in question. And but the job's still his. So what else is he gonna do? Um, but yeah, but I think yeah, right, River. I think you're saying there's a lot of fear mongering, right? And I think that that's the whole thing. I mean, they're gonna scare you. They're gonna scare you into your votes. But the thing is voting. The voting thing. I, I don't know. I'm not a very educated guy, but I don't see it making much of a difference. I just haven't seen it make much of a difference. Uh, there's there was a miscount. I remember back in I can't remember what year that was, but there was a big Florida miscount, and that was a big deal. And they just kept counting and counting and counting and counting and counting and counting. And there's always something dirty going on. And if at the end of the day, if it's up to people who are empowered to do something dirty, then what makes me think that my vote really counts? So I don't know. But they're all opportunists. They're all opportunists. So um, I don't know. I guess it's the simpleton way to go is to just kind of worry about myself and not get too not get too caught up in that stuff, you know. But yeah, I I listened to I listened to a couple of lives today that I've been listening to. Again, like I mentioned before, one of these lives is of somebody who I've never really listened to before, and the other is of somebody who I've listened to many, 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 many times. I've even gone live with her. But again, I'm that guy. I'm just sitting there listening to them both, man. Like, come on, I just give me something. Just give me something that isn't about you and your needs. How about our needs as your listeners? But here's the thing. I mean, obviously, people keep listening to it, though. You know, it's funny, and I'm in no way bitter about it. I'm in no way bitter about it. But I did make an observation. I think I lost a few subscribers after my interview with Sean. Um, and I got a letter. I got an email from somebody. I'm even gonna read that email online. I'm on this live actually. Now that I think about it, I hadn't planned on it, but I'm going to. Um, but well, there's the thing, River. Is none of it was even about Watts anymore. I mean, this is it's crazy. These two are like they've got great sound equipment. They've got vast knowledge of all these crime cases. They've got they've got educations, They've got tons of followers. And and yet they're standing on platforms talking trash about the other. And there's no point to it because they're not running for office. It's not like, okay, well, I'm going to vote for this person and then this person's going to be out. There's literally no end to be foreseen here. It's just this person's going to fire shit at this person and use their channel to do that, and then this person's going to use their channel and fire back. And it's and I'm looking at this going, what the fuck? And I'm blaming them, but the problem is that this is what people want to hear. That's what dawned on me. It's what people really want to hear. It's what they want. It's what they want. Like these Watts people, these people that are obsessed with the Watts case, it's not that they're obsessed with the Watts case. This has been my whole thing all this time. Like, what is their obsession with the Watts case? What's going on? It's not that they're obsessed with the Watts case. They're obsessed with drama and bullshit. That's it. They're not obsessed with the Watts case. These are not true crime enthusiasts. None of them are. Can't be. Because you've got thousands of people who are logging on and going, "Oh my god." And then when you see the chats, they're blowing up with just praises to the person that's online and just trashing the other person. It's the craziest thing in the world. Like you see this chat and it's filled up and it's just got, "We love you. You keep doing you," and blah 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 blah, which it's nice to hear that. It's nice to hear that. But I want to know that I'm hearing that because I'm giving my listeners what they really really want. And it occurred to me that, well, that's what they're doing. I mean, I'm not one of those listeners that's getting what I want. That's fair. But the majority are. The majority want the bullshit. So all they're doing is really just being smart, good YouTubers. You know? I mean, it's insane. They're just being smart, good YouTubers. They're having a lot of subscribers and followers. That's their goal. They have them. So they're playing it safe and maintaining them. I mean, they're working together and they don't even know it. You know, they're like Batman and the Joker. Like neither one wants to actually kill the other because, well, what are you going to do when that person's no longer around to shit all over? What what are you going to do? You know? I mean, I guess you could always just go back and talk about these families of this murder case. You can keep talking about them because your listeners are obsessed with their lives. That's, I mean, yeah, yeah. It's all just about, like, I'm not seeing it. Every Watts related channel, any Watts related channel that I'm watching has nothing to do with the Watts case anymore. It has nothing to do with the Watts case anymore. All it is about is the drama between the people following the Watts case or were following the Watts case. So now it's just kind of spawned into this thing. It's spawned into from it's spawned from being about the Watts case to being about the Watts families to being about each other and themselves. And now it's this big ugly. I mean, it's lower than tabloid shit. It's lower than that. It's like if I walk, you know what it's like? It's like if I walk up to the fucking to the checkout line at the grocery store, just and I'm just strolling up there with my shitty cheap food, and I'm gonna put it there on the conveyor, and I take an eye at the Inquirer, and I'm no longer seeing articles about the celebrities. All I'm seeing in the Inquirer and in the Globe is articles about journalists in those tabloids writing about each other. That's that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing this Inquirer journalist writing about that Globe journalist, and that's it. That's what this YouTube thing has become. There's no artistic integrity behind it whatsoever. None at all. But yet, people are chomping at the bit for it. Like, okay, look, I lost like 2, 3 subscribers in the past 24 hours, right? I'll probably lose more. It's whatever. It's great. It's fine because everybody who I wanted to be involved in that case, I in the case that I was discussing, were involved. I got great emails from people um, about it. I got great responses from people, and I'm loving that. But it's funny because most of my subscribers, if not all of them, are they come from that particular genre that I am now trashing. And these are people who call themselves true crime enthusiasts, right? So they're true crime enthusiasts, but yet not only did I discuss a case that Dateline did a 2-hour episode on, and at one point was the most watched Dateline episode ever. The whole country was talking about this case when it happened. It was fucked up. It was crazy how awful this man was murdered. And I had a very, very relaxed conversation, a very casual, relaxed conversation regarding this subject with the person who is directly responsible for providing the police with the evidence to convict these people for this murder. And I had him right there. Like, you can't get any more. You can't, as far as having an interest in a true crime case, you can't get any more than that, other than probably better sound quality than what I have. And yet, I lost subscribers over it. So, I admit I'm not great at what I do. That's a valid argument. You could say, well, it's because you fucking suck. Maybe. Maybe. Probably right. I've never done this shit before. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. But the thing is, though, yet people cannot get enough. People who claim to be following the Watts case because they're trying to understand it better. People who say this and they're just trying to understand human behavior better. That they had absolutely no interest in one of the most fascinating crime cases that I've ever even heard of. And it just so happened that I happen to know someone who was directly involved in that case. So so that was a fun little personal experiment. I didn't even do that on purpose. It was just when I was looking at my thing today, I thought about that. I was like, wow, you know, I was like, holy shit, that's fucking crazy. So yeah, and people would have had everyone had the opportunity to ask him whatever they wanted regarding that case. He was a total open book. He's this guy. You could have asked him anything. Sean, you can ask him anything. He does not get offended. He's just a laid back, easygoing guy. And and anybody could have asked him anything. And many of you did. Many of you did. Many of you that were logged on, you did. And it was an awesome, awesome experience. But it blows my mind that something like that, it blows my mind that something like that is what the majority is not what the majority of people want over people just bickering at each other. People people calling somebody a liar, you know. Oh, well, look, I have screenshots of this and I have screenshots of that, and it's like, yeah, you know what? It's a fucking fact. I mean, so you prove that somebody fucking lied. So what? People do it all the time. People do it without even realizing they're doing it. You know? At any given time, somebody could fucking just pop up some screenshots of some conversation I had that I don't even fucking remember. And it's like, well, shit, okay, maybe I guess I said that. You know? Okay, what does that prove? It proves I'm a liar. Okay, but you're a liar too. Everybody here, everybody in the chat's a fucking liar to some degree. I don't understand why these people are going out of their way to destroy each other's credibility when neither one of them are even really that credible to begin with in the first place. So what? So what? And I'm not saying that to insult them. I'm saying none of us are that credible. None of us really are. You know, this is we're human beings and we fuck up and we get pissed off and we say things. We're not we're not responsible for anything. So who gives a shit? But for some reason, yeah, people are entertained by this. And that fascinates me. That absolutely and totally fascinates me. I'm going to I'm going to go ahead and read something I got here. I'm just waiting for my Gmail to load. Sorry about that. Um, all right. Now, this is from a dude who I've never heard from, but he wrote me a somewhat lengthy email here. But but it was really really kind. Um, and it states, "Hello, Will. I really enjoyed your Saturday and Sunday lives. You did a great job interviewing Sean, and he was a very interesting and well spoken guest. Like many of your viewers, I started listening to you after your lives with Kay. I think a lot of Kay's audience, though, you would pick up the Watts ball. Or, sorry, he's got some typos here, but I speak typos, so it's okay. Sorry about that. um, I think a lot of Kay's audience thought you would pick up the Watts ball when you started your own channel and in turn subscribed. When you branched out to other topics, some tuned out. Like you, I am sick of the Watts case and the YouTube circus it has become. Why don't you try an experiment and use a Watts case topic to see what reaction you get in live? Outside of Case Circle, I don't think a lot of people have heard about your channel, and this might be a great way to draw some new viewers in and I have an interesting viewpoint on the case from a friend who is a retired medical examiner on why people have remained obsessed with this case and some logical reasons for it. Your audience is made up mostly of women, and I think your show should at times have topics that are important to women, like current events, relationship issues, and even gossip, with some which seem to draw some women. Women also want to get a man's perspective of what interests them, and you have a great personality and you're very well spoken on so many things. You are also very kind and caring to your chat group, which should be a big draw considering how toxic some YouTube channels have become. You sometimes have to use honey to draw the flies, so why don't you use the watch topic that hasn't been really been discussed on one of your upcoming lives? You can use the conversation I had with my medical examiner friend, as he did give several good opinions on why he thought there was such an interest in what should be a cut and dry murder case. I have loved all your shows and think you have discussed some very interesting topics and love your take on movies and comics. As a man, I love your no bullshit attitude and honesty and do want shows that cater to a man's view and interest as well. I hope I am not overstepping my bounds, and if I am, I apologize. I just think you can draw in more people in your lives and feel your channel will take off like gangbusters. Your interview with Sean was A plus, and I feel more people need to hear your lives and catch that great channel that you've created. Below is my watch related info. Thanks. And then yeah, he sent me this thing about that his medical examiner, apparently he had a conversation with this guy, and this is pretty much what the guy shared with him. Um, but I'm not gonna get into that now. Um, I just wanted to make the point um, that I thought it was really, really cool that, first of all, I don't want to say the guy's name, but I'm sure he recognizes his own email if he's listening. So thank you very much for those kind words. I do appreciate it. I don't know if you want to remain anonymous or not, but I'm going to assume you are, just out of for the sake of courtesy. Um, but I this this is what I'm talking about. Is I have to I'm expected to use, well, not expected. This He's only suggesting something that I've already decided that I didn't want to do. And all due respect to the writer of that email, again, I do appreciate the kind words, but I'm going to give you an honest response to that. And I'm not doing that, man. I'm not fucking doing that. You know, I will discuss that. Actually, the topic that your ME examiner mentioned. Um, he's I, he's right in that sense. I agree with everything that he said. And again, I'm not going to go into that now. But if I do go into that, it's because one thing that I have said that I will discuss is exactly what I'm discussing right now, and it's the behavior that this Watts case has developed in people. Um, it's it's pretty mind blowing. And yeah, the phenomenon of the Watts case, I will definitely talk about. I will always talk about, because it's a force to be reckoned with, absolutely. But I'm not going to contribute to the phenomenon of the Watts case, because there's nothing to it to me. There's nothing to it. But it's so crazy that even at this point, when I realized, you know what, I'd fucking rather hear these two YouTubers talk about the Watts case than this. I'm bitching about the fact that they won't shut up about the fucking Watts case, but you know, now they're just like jabbing at each other, and I'm just like, well, this is even worse. I'd rather hear them talk about the Watts case. This is fucking crazy. So, but it, it's gotten to that point, And I guess one could say, you know what? Well, then don't fucking listen. Well, that's fair, because that's my attitude. If people don't like what the fuck I'm doing, then fuck off. Don't listen to it. I don't care. But my thing is, when I hear it, it's that I already know what they're capable of. Now, in all fairness, like, there was a response live that came on later on. I'm not going to say who's who because I'm not trying to say who I think is right and who I think isn't. But she she didn't even spend her time taking jabs. She probably threw a couple little rabbit punches in there, like, but it was more about like, I don't want to do this shit no more, you know. But I mean, as long as you're going on live and talking about doing it, you're doing it. You know what I mean? You just are, and people are, and that's what people are listening to. And it's really just them stroking themselves, going, look, ooh, I've got her now. Look at these fucking, and they're well edited videos too. They're like really nice, things that I could never, I don't even know how to do. And like there's these super like nice edited videos that they're zooming in and out of this and that, and it's got some cool little synth music playing in the background, and it's got this dramatic, ominous feel to it when somebody says some shit that doesn't even fucking matter, but it's made out to seem like it really matters because of the ominous music that's playing behind it. And it's just funny to me, man. And I look at this and I can't look away. I crack up. It's like the same thing. It's like Judge Judy, right? Like if my TV in the living room is on one of the local channels, and I'm never that guy that's like switching through the channels and goes, "Oh, look, Judge Judy." And then I click on it. It never happens. It never happens. But there's times where I'm walking by because something else was on and the TV was left on, or my buddy's out there just working and he just got the TV on whatever, and I come by and I'll walk by and I'll see Judge Judy and I'll just look at the TV, but then all of a sudden, like, my feet are still moving, but my head is still turned towards the TV, looking at it, and then I find myself, I stop, and then I sit on the armrest of the fucking couch, and then I'm going, look, she's fucking lying, Judy. She's lying. Look at her. She's fucking lying. And then all of a sudden, I'm all into it. You know what I mean? And yet, it's crap. It's total crap. It's about shit that doesn't affect me in the slightest fucking bit. And then I I'm looking at it, and then I'm sucked into it. You know, and that happened to me today. That happened to me today, and I was just like, fuck. You know, but I feel like it's the lowest form of entertainment that there is. I really think so. And I know it's being performed by people who are capable of much more creative, insightful things. And they did together at one point, and now they don't. And now it's like they're just firing at each other, and all each one seems like one of them is going to go, "Hey, I'm sorry," but neither one of them seems capable of saying, "I'm sorry. I was wrong. I'm sorry." It's just not gonna happen, you know. Like neither one of these people, these personalities, contain that. I remember one of them saying, I'm being the bigger person here," basically saying I'm being the bigger person and I forgive you. Like, like what? So I laugh at that shit. I just laugh at it, man, and then I get sad because this is what people really want. This is the kind of thing that people really want, and I just that saddens me. I like there's nothing in my gut that allows me to do that. I just can't do it. You know. Yeah, see, Shannon, look, you're saying they don't keep Judge Judy on because she's beautiful. They keep her on because she's smart. Well, yeah, but that's not why either. They keep her on because she insults. the people in the courtroom. Like she'll straight up call somebody a liar, and then she'll get mad because somebody makes her feel like, or tries to make her seem stupid because they lied to her. Um, but I mean, yeah, she's smart, but at the same time, I mean, what she does is totally unfair. Like that shit wouldn't fly in a regular court. Oh, yeah. So you made. Oh, okay. I get it. You made a Judge Judy reference that I'm not. Yeah, I don't watch her enough to get the reference. I'm sorry, but but yeah. I mean, she's yeah. It's just entertaining. It's just this mindless entertainment. And my whole thing is so. And now there's not even anything such a thing as shiners anymore. Have you noticed that? Have you noticed that whole phenomenon has just completely fucking disappeared? I haven't heard one thing from somebody who's a so-called shiner in months. Like they've moved on from it. So nobody even takes any watch sides anymore. Now they're just taking YouTuber sides. That's what this is. And yet there's nothing. It's yeah. It's like pro wrestling. It's like pro wrestling. There's this little world that's YouTube, and everybody just kind of, you know, somebody will start talking, and then that person will come out from behind, from the back, and interrupt them with their crazy music, you know, and then sometimes they just start going at it, But it's all these loud promos, where yeah. Yeah, yeah, that's yeah. Judge Judy does make a crazy amount of money, and I also heard that her bailiff he's a millionaire. Her bailiff is a millionaire. He's the highest paid bailiff ever, supposedly. Right. Well, that's what I'm saying, Shannon. Like, I don't think that there's any. I don't think that there's any shiners. Like, there's no more. Yeah. Like, there's no more feuding. Like, for months it was feuding with people who 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 thought Kay was saying bad things about Shanann and blah 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 blah. Right? It was all this and that, and then then they try to dox her, and then she fires back, and she goes off on Mary Marlowe, and then she goes off on this person and that person, and then and then those people fucking disappear. So now it's just J and K firing back at each other like Kay's a liar. Look what she said. I have screenshots, and Kay's like, Jay's a liar. Look, I have screenshots. And I'm not. I'm wondering when. I'm wondering when I'm gonna get to hear the Jody Harris meat curtain thing. That's what I want to hear. I'm just over here like wanting wanting to hear something cool, you know, wanting to hear some insightful opinions on something that matters. That's all. From people who I know are smart. That's all I'm waiting on. But yeah, I'm trying to do it. You know what I mean? I'm trying to do it. I'm not nearly as good at it as they are, but yeah, I'm trying to do it, and I'm sucking at it. So I wish they would do it. I wish the people who are good at it would do it. That's my big gripe. That's my big gripe. You know. Yeah, I noticed that, River. Yeah. I mean, so that's why I'm like, it may seem like I'm coming off like I'm complaining about not having a lot of subscribers or followers. I'm actually not. I'm okay with that. Like I was okay with that weeks ago. Um, I genuinely, really just I like the peace and quiet of this, but man, I really want I be I became someone who wanted to do YouTube for a reason, and the thing is there was a process to me wanting to become a YouTuber, and a big part of that process was being inspired, and I was inspired by other YouTubers, you know. So when I see other YouTubers that because man, it's a cool thing. It's cool to see them become successful. Like I got to admit that it's cool to see YouTubers become successful because it's a total DIY thing. You know, I'm a big fan of DIY. I'm a big fan of do it yourself. You know, you start off with just a voice and something to talk about, and then all of a sudden there's all these people that relate to what you're saying, and they identify with what you're saying, and it's really really cool, and it's a really cool thing to see. Um, and then, but then I don't know, like what got them there. Now it's not it's not what's holding them there, and I I feel like out of fear of losing that support system, they're just going with what they think the people want. So my gripe is with what the people want because it's affecting what I want. That's my gripe. The majority of people want this bullshit and they want this drama, and I'm one of the minority who want insightful content. So that's what I'm complaining about. And I like that too, Catherine. I'm extremely grateful for this small group. And one of the reasons that I'm grateful is the fact that it's small. I have become very very grateful for that. Um, so I'm digging that, you know. So that's what I'm saying. Like that I'm being genuine when I say not only am I okay with having this small group of listeners, because I'm also seeing a much bigger gap between subscribers and YouTubers, right? Between the subscribers and the views that they get for their videos. You got tons more subscribers than they have the views. And so I realized that for for my views and my subscribers, for the amount of subscribers and my views, the fact that I have as many views as I get is nice, you know, in that regard. It's decent. So it's nothing to complain about. Um, if I'm worried about that. But the fact is almost everybody who listens are people who are either in the chat or people who missed it and wish they could have been in the chat. But they're people who genuinely want to interact. And so I'll take that all day than having fucking thousands or millions of subscribers. I'll take that all day. I'd much rather have that, and have a great interaction with my faithful listeners. Hold on. So I'm going to read a little bit here. Wait, Kathleen, you're watching The Watcher? Is that a new movie with Keanu Reeves and James Spader? God, man, that sounds exhausting. I hate James Spader. I like Keanu though. But Keanu's playing a smart serial killer. Okay, that's a stretch for him. Oh, thanks, AJ. Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, I like that my mods and admins don't really have to deal with any of it. Like, um, I think one or two actually do because they belong to other groups um, that you know. Because here's the thing, I'll go ahead and address this real quick. One thing, you know what? I'll just be completely fucking honest. My whole thing, the reason why I don't really interact with Kay anymore is because the people that she surrounds herself with are fucking batty, dude. And I can't deal with those people. There's a few that are all right. There's a few that aren't, and but at the end of the day, they all support each other, and they're like a little a little mean mob in high school, and I can't do it, you know, um, and and so Kay doesn't know like Kay's not even half the shit that goes on. Like she doesn't even listen. I don't even think she really listens to YouTube. I think she has her people listen to these things and come to her with them and go, "Hey, look, this is what this person said about you. This person released this video about you." I don't think that she I don't think that she has much she knows anything other than what the people that she surrounds herself with tell her. So that's the ironic part is you have this person who does all kinds of shit all day in order to maintain her life, holding down a job, being a mom, being a wife, you know. So she's doing all this shit, and yet everybody else is making moves on her behalf. Whether or not me and her work together or not, I remember when that was established, Kay was on fucking vacation. I didn't even talk to Kay, and then me and her mods had a big falling out because there was this one chat that they all talked on, right? And that's all that chat consisted of. That whole chat consisted of this person saying this and this person's planning on doing this and it was like this weird little cyber war constantly going on. These people like worked around the clock. Like that's fucking exhausting, dude. I would never want that. I would never want that. I would never ever want that. And the downside of it all is Kate takes the blunt of everything. So when if somebody else if somebody else does something that's directly involved with her, then she's automatically implicated in it, and she'll take it. She knows that these people, okay, well, they're my mods, they're my admins, so I'm responsible for their actions. So she takes that responsibility. But it's funny, a lot of it's not even her. It's the funniest thing in the world. I saw it with my own eyes. I was there. I saw it. So that's what blows my mind is this whole thing, you know. So even the stuff that she's commenting on, these screenshots, I saw it with my own eyes. A lot of these things that she's commenting on, she doesn't even know anything about. Not directly. These are just things that are being told and reported to her. So when she blows up and throws a comment, you know, and that's all I can say about that because that's all I know. I don't know anything about Jay. You know, I don't. I think her videos are funny. I think I think they're funny. Like I actually enjoy them to a certain degree. I just wish the content was something that interests me. But obviously, it interests a lot of people. But the content, I'm not. That's not the issue. I'm laughing. I laugh at she's because she's actually pretty funny. She's a funny person. Um, so uh, there was a couple little jabs that I laughed at, not because they were at K, just because they were good jabs. So I laughed. but but it's pretty funny to me that when you think about how little this is actually about, that's how little it is. I know at least I would imagine with as many followers and as many fans as Jay has, I would imagine that she probably has a very similar team of people working under her and digging and finding all the things and helping her edit her videos, or maybe she edits her own videos. I don't know. I'm just saying there's probably a lot of help there, and so they're probably, I mean, it's based on a lot of hearsay, a lot of it. And these are people who love this fucking drama. These are people who got mad at me. They literally got mad at me and started turning against me and acting all weird and wishy-washy at me when I made a statement. And this was the moment it happened. I made a statement saying, I think Kay should move on from the Watts case. She's capable of a lot more. She's super smart. She's incredibly intelligent. I'm dying to hear her do more. And then like it got all quiet in the chat. And then one or two people said something like I agree with you, and then they liked my comment. But there were a few others, man, that the notion of her deviating from the Watts case scared the living shit out of them because it's all they have. This world, this YouTube world that's been created around this case and all this drama, it's all they have. This toxic shit is what they like to live in. And the comfort of that being taken away scared the fuck out of them. So, and I think that losing that kind of support scares them as YouTubers. You know? I mean, so I get that. But this fucking case is out of control, man. It's not even a case anymore. It's not even a case. I don't even like calling it that. It's not even a case. It's not. It's it's just some bullshit now. That's what it is. It's just some crazy bullshit. It's it's a stink in a room. And AJ, yeah, I you do make videos. Um, I've seen your videos. I actually like your videos. Um, but yeah, see you. I mean, but you kind of do the same thing. But see, that's the thing. Okay, I'm gonna address this, and I don't. If you get mad, sorry if you get mad, but your comment is honestly, I love to make videos, and I have many elsewhere. I am new to the true crime arena, and some crazy bitch drags me into a drama I never imagined I'd be in. So now I defend myself. No. See, that's the excuse you're making. But who gives a fuck what they're saying about you? Dude, I live my life by a very, very simple philosophy. And I tell you, I became so much significantly happier when I really adopted this way of thinking. And it was told to me by somebody who I very much love and very much respect. And this person said to me, how other people think or feel about you is none of your business. I live my life by that because we we seek so much fucking validity from other people that it's sickening. If you sit there right now, if you're listening to this, if you sit there right now for a second and actually think about what you do for the sake of validity from other people. Think of how much in your life that you do just for that, just for the validity to get from other people. It'll blow your mind to get somehow to get approval from other people in your life. I guarantee you there's a shit ton of things that you're doing. And so AJ, if you're sitting there and you're telling me that well, they drag me into the drama, so I defend myself. No, man. I mean, here's the thing. Like, if somebody mentions me on YouTube, right? And they have, by the way. But if somebody mentions me on YouTube and I address it, that's on me. That's on me. That's it. Here's the thing about YouTube. You could talk about anybody however the fuck you want on here. That's what makes it so fucking great. I could talk about whoever the fuck I want. I could say whatever the fuck I want. You know, I can. I mean, obviously, you can't slander them. You can't lie about them and shit. But whatever. Even if they do that, how does that actually affect me? How does it affect me? It doesn't fucking affect me. These are perfect fucking strangers to me. I don't give a fuck what they think about me or who they think I am. So it's none of my fucking business what other people think about me, man. It's none of my business. So when you sit there and you sit there and say something like, "Well, I have to defend myself." No, you don't. To who? For what? For what? How are you getting hurt? So people are talking about you on YouTube. Good for you. Who gives a shit? Good for you. Awesome. It's good. It shouldn't affect your job. It shouldn't affect your job. And if it does affect your job, you should take legal action against them. But firing back on YouTube, that doesn't do anything. That doesn't do anything. That's just you making the excuse to go on YouTube and having something to go on YouTube about. That's the fucking truth. So, yeah, slander and lies and defamation, it affects your job and your family. Well, first of all, River, are we talking about Mary Marlowe? All right. You saying you've seen what Mary has done to AJ? It's terrible. She's brutal. Okay. Are you talking about Mary Marlowe, or is this just some other Mary that I don't know about? But man, look, I get it. I get it. I get. You know, somebody. Okay, dude. First of all right, River. I'm gonna say this shit straight up. I don't know. I've never met this woman, but I know a crackhead when I see one, dude. Now, she does not. I'm not saying she smokes crack, but she exhibits the behavior of someone who smokes crack. I grew up in Miami. I've met a lot of crackheads. I've seen them. I know what they look like. But here's the thing. I don't feel sorry for her one bit. I don't feel sorry for her one bit because She goes on YouTube and she says things that leave you open for criticism. They just do. Me going on here right now leaves me open for criticism. I can't sit there and break down every time somebody fucking says something negative about me. I can't sit there and get all fucking pissy whenever somebody says something negative about me. But I'm telling you, this person exhibits the behavior of one who smokes crack. Straight up. So I'm just saying, why does it matter? Why does it matter? Why does it matter? Take legal action against her. If you genuinely feel threatened by this person, you should take legal action. But you cannot sit there and justify yourself and say, "Hey, I don't want to be part of the drama," when you are part of the drama. You know what I'm saying? You can't sit there and do that. When you fire back at people, blah blah blah. Like here I am bitching about drama, but I probably just caused myself some drama by going on here and talking about this. I probably did, so I'm not going to get to complain about it later. You know what I mean? The fact of the matter is I came on here and I talked about that I wanted better content from artists that I respect and like. That's I came on here being just as critical of them as I would some movie from a filmmaker that I really liked and turned out that it sucked. And I'm like, fuck, you know. I wish Nicolas Cage would make better movies. I really do. He's a great actor, but I wish he would make better movies. So yeah, so if Mary Marlowe's fucking with you, or Jay's fucking with you, or Kay's fucking with you, or fucking Lima Bean, what's her fucking name? She's saying shit about you or whatever. You know, who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? Why does it affect you? Why does it affect you? Coming from like if she's definitely a crackhead, then why does the opinions of where I come from uh, the opinion that a crackhead has of me holds no validity. It never has. Where I come from, a crackhead's opinions they they have no credibility. So right, exactly, Shin. I'm just now reading your comment. And you actually said exactly what I just said. Yeah. Um, well, isn't that her fucking name? Isn't it Lima Beans? Right? I don't know. She shows up in my chat sometimes. I showed up in one of hers or something. I don't know. But yeah, I don't. Yeah, the whole Mary Marlowe thing. That's a whole nother phenomenon in itself, right there. That's a whole nother phenomenon in itself. Like, she was like, why was she broadcasting from her kitchen stove, like in the middle of the night, like looking like she hadn't slept in like 10 days? You know, that's crackhead, dude. That's that's back in Miami. We'd call them basers. So yeah. I don't understand. Um, I don't understand why people get so affected by what YouTubers are saying about them. That's yeah. I mean, it's seriously like it's like watching wrestling. Like everybody has this problem with each other. But the thing is, though, everybody has this problem with each other because they're paid to have this problem with each other. You know, they're part of a world that people pay tickets for, and they don't. uh, yeah, I don't know, man. Same reason she decided to broadcast at her place of employment and then blame subs for getting her fired. Wait, what? So she's got a job? Wow, man. That always blows my mind too when crackheads have jobs. I love when crackheads have jobs. Like I feel like everybody knows you're a crackhead too. Like if you're I feel like I feel like if you're a crackhead, everybody knows you're a crackhead. Everybody's just like the vibe shifts when that person walks into work. You know, people check their wallets, make sure they're there. You know, people start sticking their purses in their drawers, shit like that. And what's yo and yeah, let me tell you about that was another thing because I remember I went off on Mary Marlowe. I went live with Kay one time and I went off on Mary Marlowe. And I'm pretty sure I mentioned drug use there. I hadn't even seen that video yet. I just assumed because of her mannerisms. Um, wow, she got this is awful. Wow. So she got so she so she worked at a Walmart call center and she got herself fired from the Walmart call center. Wow. Yeah, Mystic, I'm with you. Walmart has a call center? For what? Customer service? I call bullshit on that. Hell no. Yeah, she yeah. Yeah, and I talked about her. I talked about her I think I made a meme when I was in Kay's group. So it was fun. That was the thing, and that's what I got out of that, man. Cause like I was finding myself like doing real dirty shit and trashing people's personal appearances and things like that. Hey, that's fucked up. Um, you know, I mean, I made some reference to her lipstick, and I don't remember what I said, but that's not cool. But but I can damn sure say that you're a fucking if you look like a crackhead, man, because that's just you behaving a certain way. I'm not gonna feel bad about how you're acting. If you're acting like a crackhead, then shit, I'm gonna tell you you're a crackhead because you're a crackhead. You need to stop. You need to stop smoking rocks because that shit. If you can't see your behavior, what happens? What happens in that pattern of thinking? Like, okay, I'm gonna get high. I'm gonna get some some rocks. I'm gonna smoke them, and then I'm gonna turn on my video camera so that everybody can see me right now in this state, and then and say things that don't make any goddamn sense whatsoever. And then I'm gonna leave it up, and I'm gonna take it down, and then I'm gonna go on, and then I'm gonna talk about things that don't make any sense some more. I can't. I don't understand. I don't understand why somebody would. I mean, there was that one video too, man. I see this all the time. I've seen this before. There was one video where what's her face, Marissa. Uh, what's her fucking? Uh, I forgot her. Uh, and it's at the tip of my tongue because I say it all the time. What's her name? She's whatever. But she was like outside of a hotel room, and she went outside. She went live from her phone. Her mouth was all fucked up because it was numb, and she was she was talking about her life being in danger, all kinds of shit. I'm like, yo, why would you go live and do that? Molly Go Lightly. That's it. That's it. That's it. Why couldn't I think of her name? But yeah, yeah, she got. It was super weird, man. It was super weird. It was a super weird vibe. and I didn't understand why somebody would do that, would put themselves in that. Like it got to a point where I won't drink if I'm gonna go live. Like you know, it's gotten to a point where, I mean, I hardly ever drink anyway. But if I do drink, it's after I go live, or on a day that's just random where I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna take it easy tomorrow, so I'll get a bottle of wine, and it's always a bottle of wine. It's never anything more than a bottle of wine. But I don't. Yeah, it was weird. Like I can't. After hearing myself drunk on a live, I was like, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm just not doing that anymore. I can't. I I didn't like what I was. I don't know. It was just something weird about it. So I had a problem listening to it. So I just don't do it anymore. But I'm not saying, somebody shouldn't be themselves. Because I mean, if you're a crackhead, then I guess by all means be a crackhead. Live. I guess if you're a crackhead, then be a crackhead, man. But I don't think you should be a crackhead. I think you should probably not smoke crack, and then maybe maybe get some help. Maybe decide not to do crack no more, and take whatever steps you need to take to get crack out of your life. Because apparently she was like yeah. See, that's what she was, a big radio personality at one point, right? Wasn't she like a big deal? Yeah, this has got crackhead written all over it. See, hybrid, it's actually kind of fun. Like, I was cool to do it with Kay because, you know, because it was just like having a fun drunk conversation with a friend. We had a good time. Like, I love the lives I did with Kay. But, yeah, crack is whack indeed, Shannon. Indeed. Yeah, yeah. But, I, yeah, hybrid. I did it because it was fun with Kay, but doing it by myself was just kind of weird, man. Because I do like to have a bottle of wine by myself. There's a process to it where maybe I'll either watch a movie. It'll usually last me through a movie, or um, I will it will last me through a movie, or I'll just kind of sit and listen to music. Um, but it's usually just a very very chill experience. Um, I don't even really drink socially because I only have two friends and neither one of them drink. Sean doesn't drink. Um, Sean never drinks. I have had beers with him though. He had like, yeah, we went to some place one time and had like two beers, and he did the tasting with me. We went to Gatlinburg and we did the tasting of the moonshine place, and but but he's not like, yeah. It, I hang out with the guy almost every day, and like there's two occasions that I can think of that we actually consumed alcohol. Yeah, River, a little Billy Joel there. Yeah, I dig me some Billy Joel. Yeah, you know what? Hey, Mignon, I meant to tell you, I listened to one track of theirs, and it was so long. It took forever to get going, but once it did, it was pretty impressive. Like, I mean, I don't like jam bands, dude. I don't like jam bands. That's my thing. They were really good at what they do, but they're one of those bands that serve the purpose of being like, oh, look how awesome they are. So I'm not a big, yeah. Like I can't stand the Grateful Dead because like I just I want the song to have an end at some point. Could you just end the song now? It's been 8 minutes, please. Just give me that one down, and let it ring out for a second, and that's it, man. Just come on. After 8 or 9 minutes of fucking playing a song, I think it's enough. I think it's more than enough. So, yeah, I did listen to it, but yeah, see, here I am, and I'm trashing. I was trying to avoid this. I was trying to avoid trashing it. Um, she's talking about King Crimson River. Like, there's bands that, like, if you tell me they're a jam band, I'm too lazy to listen to them. I'm already like, nope. Yeah, I'm not doing that. It's like trying to talk me into taking a hike. Nah. Probably not. I'm probably not going to do that. So, yeah, don't recommend jam bands to me because I see it as work. I feel like you're making me sit through something. Uh, I don't appreciate it. So, but all right, guys. I went to the gym today, and I said I was gonna go back because it's a day off, and I want to tell myself, yeah, I'm fucking work out twice one day, yeah. And they close in 2 hours, and I was talking about wine, and now I just kind of want to get a bottle of wine and listen to some music. I don't even want to work out. I already did today, so it's probably what I'm gonna do, man. Um, so anyway, uh, look, Mignon, I don't know if they're a jam band, but I know that one track that I clicked on was that was a track that of a jam band because it was long as fuck, and I was, you know, well, Eric G, my man, I don't listen to a lot of jazz either. I like jazz. Now, if I'm in a place that's playing live jazz, I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm not going. I'm not listening to jazz expecting the end of a song. I'm listening to jazz expecting to hear each each artist in the band excel because that's what jazz artists do. Like there's always like the drummer will show off and he's a badass, and then there's like I love I could just watch a jazz drummer play like all fucking day. It's badass. But um, I jazz bassists, jazz guitarists, everybody. Yeah, yeah, it's crazy. Um, but yeah, live. And you could play jazz like in the background too, like at a fucking dinner party where, people are trying to talk and it's still a pleasant vibe. That's cool. Uh I mean, I like all genres of music to some degree. I just don't there's stuff that I'm probably not going to listen to a lot of, you know. And yeah, Kathleen, I like the Doors, I guess. Doors are I don't know. I think Jim Morrison is overrated as far as I mean he's a drunk, said a lot of shit that you know if you just throw any words together, somebody's gonna relate to that shit. Uh, he's drunk ramblings that were, you know, uh, exonerated or that were exalted into being poetry, and I didn't think it was all that poetic. Some of it was though. Some of the songs are great. There's some Doors songs that I absolutely love. No, I've never listened to John Butte. Is that how you say it? Butte? John Butte? Because that's how I say booty anyway. I say Butte. All right. All right, guys. I'm gonna hit up. I'm gonna hit up the store, and I'm gonna find something to watch. Maybe listen to some music. I don't know. I haven't decided. If I say what about the Beatles? That they're overrated? Fuck yeah, I'll say the Beatles are fucking overrated. They were totally fucking overrated. Yeah, Bootay. Yeah, Shannon. Um, they were totally fucking overrated. John Lennon was a womanizing, narcissistic dickhead who wrote great songs and then got married to Yoko Ono and then decided, "Hey, I'm the greatest thing since Jesus Christ," which is basically what he was quoted in saying, and then decided to write nothing but songs about her, and then somebody came along and shot his ass. And I'm not saying he deserved to get shot, because that dude who shot him was a fucking weirdo. Shot him for weird reasons too. Super weird. I can't remember. Um, but anyway, um, but yeah, fuck John Lennon. John Lennon can kiss my ass. But I love Paul McCartney though, and I love George Harrison too. And every Ringo song that he wrote that got put on a Beatles album is the worst Beatles song. Every single one. So pick it. Pick pick the Ringo song from a Beatles record that Ringo wrote, and it's the worst song on that album. Guaranteed. I promise. Every time. Like I listened to Abbey Road. Abbey Road being one of my all-time favorite albums from any artist whatsoever, and I love albums where I never have to hit the skip button. I love that shit. But unfortunately, that's not one of those albums where I never get to hit the skip button. Because as soon as Octopus's Garden comes on, I'm hitting the fucking skip button because that song sucks my balls. It's awful. But anyway, um, I'm gonna go ahead and go, guys. I love you guys very much. I appreciate you, and we will talk soon.